Welcome back to a new breakdown. I've recorded this shit like four times. Four times. I was not getting the audio. This is like the fifth time recording this video. So I was supposed to tell you, but sorry for the delays. So I'll just quickly break it down. The BTC trade I took today. The BTCUSD trade I took today. That's what I'll be breaking down now quickly. So if you're on my free telegram, if you're not on the free telegram, I'll drop the link below. But I posted that I was expecting BTC to get to 106k. 166k. I already reached that mark. It dropped from about 108k to 106k. We already reached that mark. But the main point I'm looking at BTC to get to, will be this point right here. It's 104, 645 range. But that's what I was expecting BTC. I'm expecting something like this to happen. Then boom. Because if you understand how I trade and how I use the CRT method, CRT is the candle range theory. I have a video on that already. You understand that? This right here is our range, right? For last one, this was our range. Our target for the range was this high, right? It was this high. For price to get to this high and take out this high. So one thing, either of these things will happen. Either price take it and continue to the other side, or it takes it out and then drops. So those are the things I was expecting to happen. For now, price closed as a range. Although moves happens on the daily and weekly time frame, but price closed as June closed as a ranging month. So what I'm expecting is for price to come back a tap and meet our target for last month, right? So now over to the trade I took today on BTCUSD. Over to the trade I took on BTCUSD. Right. Right, so now after price swept this high, right? That price swept this high, because if you had to replay, right? Now, if we replay this day, right? Our target for the day should be this high. Once you should understand, when price gets to your target for the day or for the week, you should expect two things to happen. Either price takes it out, momentum continues, or price takes it out and momentum drops. If momentum drops, start closing inside. When price start closing inside, you know what's next. Price will continue to the downside. So now, price broke out, right? Price broke out, right? Met our targets and then start closing inside again, right? Watch my video on candle and show you. I don't want to waste time. I have to upload this video today. I don't want to waste time on this particular video. So watch my video on candle and show you. You know what I'm talking about. Right. So yeah. When price took out a high, what happened was this. Price then had a lot of momentum to the downside. Price then gained a lot of momentum to the downside. And now, how do I mean gain a lot of momentum to the downside? Look at this candle. This is an engulfing candle. A very strong indication that sellers are stepping into the market. But my first point of entry was this trial resistance. If you check on the line charts, you see It's not visible on the line chart. But there's a simple way to understand this. It's not visible on the line chart. But yeah, this is my first point. And this is the second point. Of course, I was not going to just enter like that. I'll wait for rejection and closes, and then all those things I'll put together. But yeah, those are my first points. Once I see that price got there, I start rejecting. I know, okay, yes, you're going to the downside. But I didn't trade on Monday. I didn't get an entry on Monday. I didn't trade. If I was on the chart, I would have gotten an entry for sure. But I didn't trade on Monday. So Tuesday, I saw, okay, since on the monthly time frame, I had a target like that. So what I did was, okay, and the monthly time frame, I have a good target. So all I'll just wait for is for Monday's candle to close. When Monday's candle closes, I don't know what to do. So now, what I do? In this my pattern of trading, right? I have two types of supports. So I have the traditional supports. How is the support formed? The support is formed when price loses momentum to the downside. Yes, price loses momentum to the downside. When sellers are going and going and going, they get to a point where they lose selling pressure. Where the sellers are tired of selling and then buyers step in, right? And at that point, the support is formed. So this is what happened there. The same thing happened there. Selling pressure reduced, buyer stepped in. So now we have the support. Then on this candle, price taps and then continue. So this is what I'm saying. So if we replay this, right? Now when price formed this before this tap, right? Yes. Before this tap. Now we have two liquidity targets, which this point, right? And this point. Alright, go and watch my video on CRC if you don't understand this. I've already put it out there for you guys. Watch my video on CRC if you don't understand this. So you have two liquidity points, right? So in this case, all I'll be expecting is for price to just come back, tap my supports, and then take out these 2 points, right? So that's exactly what happened. So now this is the same thing we have on the monthly time frame, where price was ranging in between our targets. So if price is ranging between our targets, what we expect is for price to push back to the upside. Now, right? For price to push back to the upside, you have to take out this our first liquidity and our second liquidity. Right. So yeah. You see, price took it out nicely. Right? So the same concept. So another thing is, this move that happened there. It's a move to the upside, it's a bullish move, and the same thing as higher highs and higher lows. Right? The same thing as higher highs and higher lows. So now, price then broke. Right? Price then broke. Right? As I said, we have two types of supports. We have the traditional support, and then we have this open close support. You can call it whatever you want, or have this support that is formed as a result of a bearish candle closing and a bullish candle forming again. This support and have this type of support. You get, so automatically, if you know this is then support. So now price then sweeping this high and closing automatically makes this liquidity point. Let me forward it. Price then sweeping this point and closing automatically makes this liquidity point. So you can see price swept this liquidity, and now these are supports. Now this is another representation for this, you know, for this. So now what happened with this? Right, price then broke support right there. It's just an advanced support and resistance. So the next point is what the price threw back, tap there, and possibly continue to the downside. Exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. Price push back, tap that support, tap that resistance, right? If price breaks support, that place automatically turns resistance. I'm sure you must know that. I'm sure to a beginner, you must know that if price breaks support, that place might automatically turns resistance for price to tap. Except something like this now happens. Price breaks and it now becomes supported. No line back, price breaks. Except when I see something like this happen. Except when I see something like this happen. Then yeah, price still remains support. Except this happens. This point turns resistance right here. Point turns resistance, right? So now, since I already know all that, and I've broken all that down to the last. So what I just did was find my entry. And finding my entry, I start on the 1 hour. So now looking at the 1 hour and looking at where I've already tapped. So anytime we see an impulsive move like this, so this is our first target, right? Price rejected it. The chances of price coming back here is slim, right? Especially when price breaks support like this, the chance of price coming back is slim, and it's a very impulsive move at that. So we have another example. Look at this impulsive move. Chances of price coming back here is very slim. You know, we have other examples. Look at this impulsive move. Chances of price pushing back, coming back here is very slim. Look at this move too. You get, so it has happened. It happens every single time. So yeah. So looking at this, I then knew that okay, if I'm to find my entry from here, I'll just mark it out and then jump to the 1 hour. Right? Mark it out and then jump to the 1 hour. So now the 1 hour. Now in my entry types, I already know. If you watch my video of my entry types, type of entries I use, you know that this is one. I don't have a particular name for it. It's not something I've understood, that I've worked. So you have this right here. I mean, on lower time frame it looks different. On lower time frame it looks different for sure. But it's still the same as our resistance, as you can see. You know, the second type of resistance, a price tap, right? You can see right here. If you're to break it down, to the lower time frame, you know, I also have this point, as you can see. So if you're to break it down, you understand better. But for me, I already understand that okay, this is the point here. Okay, price already tapped. Chances of price coming back here is slim, right? And now we have another point. So our second point should be this resistance here. And now, coming to the market, the price already tapped this point. This would have been the best central would have taken, right? For something like this. Right? For something like this, but no, price already tapped. So now, why this was? I jumped over to 30 minutes. Right? Because I was not seeing another entry. So now, I saw this, right? This right here. I saw this right here. Right? This whole move right here. Now, what does this indicate? This indicates that we have like supply. Right? Okay, let me make it easier. So this was what that this I mean, like from this bearish candle to this bullish candle and this. So this was what I had. We had something like this, right? Then boom. And when this happens, and I'm looking for sales, right? I'm looking for sales. I'm not looking for buys because we had both the support here and the resistance. Look at the support here, right? So that's why directional bias is very important because sometimes you can come to the chart and you see a buy and a sell setup, but if you don't have the correct directional bias, you might take the wrong one. Know that the setup is wrong, but directional bias is wrong, right? So now, why this was this? Okay, since I know, what is the next move? Since I have support to break and then what? Turn back to resistance, right? To break and then turn back to resistance and boom. Are you seeing? Very simple. And now, if you know too, right? You see that we had another demand here. We had another resistance here, another supply here. Look at it right here. Add another one right here. So that's why if you saw the screenshot, okay, let me just put it where I put it. Right. If you saw the screenshots, you see I covered this point. Because why? This is still very valid and price might, still push up and then drop. It's very valid. Right? It's very, very valid. It's very, very valid. That's why I say I covered it and I set my take profit to 125. Of course, it might continue lower, but for now, this is the target I have. This is the target I have. I'm looking to go further than this. I took a 125 and yeah, I called it today. As you can see, I just broke down in a very simple way how I cut this. So learn to correlate your time frames, learn to use your time frames the right way. As you can see here, look at this one now. This is the same thing that happened on the daily time frame. Reflect the high that is closed inside and we broke support, right? Chances of price coming back here is slim, since we broke support, because there are sometimes that most times when it comes back here is when price didn't break support. Maybe we had the candle close inside of this range. Instead of breaking support, it just closed inside. And yeah, we'll now come back to support to this resistance. But if it breaks support, then chances of it coming back here is slim. So let me show you an example of what I mean. Okay, this is a very good example. So if you look at this, right? When price swept the high and closed inside, see it didn't break support. That's why I see price came back here. It didn't break support. That's why I see price came back here. If it did break support, there are chances that it will not come back here. But as you can see, this one it broke support, and you see it came back taps. It's later it then came back here. So backtest know how it will work for you. And yeah, create your own system. I've given you the blueprints. It's a very simple system. If you just dedicate this weekend, you might gain a thing or so. So yeah, if you want like and sub, if you love videos like this, hit me up on X, hit me up on Telegram, hit me up on Instagram. Let me know if you fuck with the video. And yes, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.